I hope you like the picture circa 1970, but I'm very nervous, so bear with me, because this is my first talk. I do talk about consciousness. I'm co-founder of Quantum Inspiration, where with someone else, we try and help someone to embed consciousness into their everyday life to make life easier. So just bear with me, because this is my passion. Karen Alexandra stole my thunder, because I was going to say I've had 19 years of a love affair with crop circles, so I didn't want to continue the theme. However, I have. Some people say to me, Kathy, it's time to get a life, because 19 years, every summer in Wiltshire, Paul D has to traipse along for 2 weeks. We've been in many crop circles, and I think for me, it's changed for me where I've actually now fallen in love with the landscape. It's not just the circles for me. I've moved a little bit beyond the circles into this beautiful landscape that I really, down the line, hope to call home. That one, yes? Okay, that's a little video of introduction, but I'm just going to move that on. So crop circles and the link with consciousness. Now, I do have notes because I'm nervous. So consciousness is effectively, in the way that we try and tell people, it's my perception. Consciousness is a perception. So everything here tonight is my perception. And that's basically what consciousness is. It's everything. It's encapsulated in everything. I love consciousness. I love teaching about it. I don't confess to know about it, but I also want to talk a little bit tonight about quantum mathematics. That was a joke. I want to talk about frequency, energy and vibration, because really that's what consciousness is. It's about frequency and vibration, and that's really at the strand of everything. Okay, so I like to call it, we've talked about synchronicity again, so I'm just going to add my thread to the tapestry of tonight, and it's actually called quantum coherence. But we can call it crop circle synchronicity, whatever you like. And I would imagine everyone in this room has had crop circle synchronicity. Has everyone experienced deep synchronicity? Yeah. Some of you haven't. You probably will in the next 2 weeks, I would say. So quantum coherence effectively means the equivalence relation on waves, so waves being vibrational movements, with equal frequencies and waveforms in physics. Two wave sources are perfectly coherent if they have a constant phase difference and the same frequency and the same waveform. So basically, how I like to see it is, if I'm going to vibrate, if I'm down in Wiltshire, I need to raise my vibration, because I truly believe, and this is just my perception, that we are resonating, we all resonate at certain frequency. We have different frequencies. But I'm starting to believe or suspect that the ley lines actually are acting as a little bit of a harmonizer to our frequencies. I did a workshop here last Sunday, and they were all coming from London. They were very excitable. We couldn't control the group, because they all said to us afterwards, "We had a great time." No one listened to what we were saying, but they had a great time because they were out of density. And I don't know if anyone's from London here. No, well, you can feel it. If I drove, because I have to drive home to London tonight, if I drove blindfolded, I would know instantly when I left Wiltshire. It sounds odd, but I can feel, and my heart saddens to think that I have to go back to my corporeal illusionary life tomorrow. So I just want to add something about the ley lines, the chalk, the water, all of this. I've done a slight, because I'm a channel, I've done a slightly altered and revised earth chakra point, so I hope the original person doesn't mind too much, but it came to me that we needed to just evolve. It seems like we've been a little bit stagnant, perhaps spiritually, but I think it's time to slightly evolve. So just go with me on this one. Mm-hmm. So the heart chakra and the upper heart, so there's actually 2 chakra points. The belief system is that we have 144 chakra points, 144,000, sorry. So when we ascend, all our chakra points or our ascension points will be well and truly open. So the upper heart and the heart, also called the Kemetic chakra point, It's Glastonbury, Silbury Hill and Silbaby. Does everyone know about Silbaby? No. I know a few of you will. So we've got Silbury Hill. Just across the road, there's another tiny little mound that's been called Silbaby. And it's not been excavated to my knowledge. And it's kind of forgotten. So when I come down here, I'm always trying to acknowledge its presence. So Glastonbury, Silbury and Silbaby. This chakra is the most important for the rise and awakening of humanity, which I think at the moment we are suffering a little bit within the unity of what is called the Avalon sphere. So I know you're probably all aware of the Michael-Mary lines. This is all linking in with this. Silbaby is much smaller earth mound near Silbury Hill and not known of what it is and why it's there. Very barely noticed. And there is an eerie alignment with the Giza Plateau in this area, Silbury being called the English Pyramid. I did a meditation with, I think it was 65 Chinese people, not so long ago. So we're in Silbury Hill, you can see Silbury Hill and we're in the grass, and it was just beautiful because that ancient landscape, it has this divine synchronicity to it, it's stunning. So if you want to know more about these points, you can go on my website. Just move forward. So the third eye is this mobile chakra point. So it believes that like our chakra points, we're evolving. So the mobile chakra is now migrated towards Newgrange in the Neolithic site. Is anyone aware of High Brazil? Okay. So it's meant to be this island off the west coast of Ireland that was shrouded in mist, almost like Avalon, and it could only be seen every 7 years. So they believe that High Brazil in the Emerald Isle, going all the way down to Carnac Stone Avenues in northern France. So these are the new chakra points lining up. This large and very vortexual point stirs the energy from consistent renewal and revitalization. Gaia, if you will, speaks through these points and holds many undiscovered truths and symbols yet to be undeclared or unsealed. High Brazil is famed for being a sunken island of the west coast of Ireland that could only be seen every 7 years, and it was on the maps until 1595, so you can go and look at it. Is this shift why crop circles are moving also? Obviously there's been a lot of crop circles in France this year. Someone said it was Brexit, which I thought was quite funny. Could be. But is it that these chakra points are moving on and the energy line is just going a bit further? Or it's Brexit? So we all have the ability to link to consciousness. We do it all the time, every single one of us. When you're driving on the motorway, you tune out and you've gone sort of 4 steps or 4, what do you call it? Menopause, it's a killer. Exits. And you think, God, how did I get here? That's your consciousness. That's consciousness taking over and making sure that you're okay. So it's becoming aware that we are sentient, having an awareness that we have a soul that is separated from the physical body and the mind. Consciousness is the energy that is all around us and within us. Anything that you're aware of at a given moment forms part of our consciousness, making the conscious experience at once familiar, the most mysterious aspect of our lives. I just want to say a little bit quickly, crop circles changed my life. My first crop circle was 99, and I remember seeing it from the road, and I have to say, I almost wet myself with excitement, and I was running to this crop circle. I didn't know why. The farm wasn't too pleased, so that was my first introduction, that you have to ask and can't just train or trample wherever you wish. But it stayed with me. And from that time on, I stood on Golden Ball Hill, I put my arms out because I was slightly lacking in what I knew what to do with my life. And I went, just give me a sign, anything. I get home and there was this past life diploma course on my mat. And I thought, well, I didn't ask for that. So I called them, I went, why did you send me this? And they said, you're not on our database at all. So I thought, well, okay, so I did that, and that's what I did as hypnosis, but then I've moved forward into channel and mediumship. So can we transmit our pattern through consciousness design to transmit it into a crop formation? This is just my opinion. However, I can answer this from my own experience. So a group of 4 people, where's Brian? There was 4 of us. It was July 31st, so tonight, 6 years ago, however long, we were sitting on a slope behind here, and we decided that we wanted to manifest a crop circle, like you do. And we thought, okay, but it was fun. And I also feel we asked. It wasn't like we demanded. Okay, we slightly demanded because we wanted it in that field. But I'll show you here. So these were the designs that we asked for. So we meditated. This here, that was channeled to me probably 8 years ago, and it was called the truth symbol. So I thought, okay. And interestingly, talking about synchronicity, I went to Bear Cloud's talk, and this symbol, I'd never seen it before. It came up in one of his talks, and he said that the star people revered this symbol as being very, very, very sacred. So we asked for that. I used crystal and sound because it's all about sound and vibration. So we used crystal sound bowls tuned to the throat and third eye, and the third eye was tuned to 787 hertz. So we did that, we did our thing, there was a bit of drumming, and then we thought, right, we'll see what happens. So the next day, it wasn't in Etchelhampton where we wanted it, but it was at Milk Hill. And I think not many people, I don't know, has anyone got into that? Because I think did you? Okay, because the farmer was just about to cut it out. So this was on Milk Hill. So I kind of think it's quite, especially here. So you can see there. You know, it's not exact. I don't think you're ever going to get an exact record. You've got 4 people whose consciousness are asking for something slightly different. But to me, I was so excited. I mean, we went to Etchelhampton the day after. I was quite disappointed to see it not there. And when we saw it on the internet, I just thought, well, this is quite something. So do crop circles enhance our frequency? Many people have stated that their lives have changed since visiting them. I just wrote down, I believe that we are on a journey of alchemical discovery. So I'm changing my frequency, that's what I want to do. I do need to talk a bit about ego in this field, because 19 years I've seen people fist fighting in the crop circle, all sorts of things. People on the internet just ripping other people down. And I'm going to be honest, about 5 years ago it really upset me, and I kind of bit the bullet with it and decided to go back at this person. And I just thought, this isn't what this is about. If I'm in ego, and I would say it to myself at that time, it's about ownership. I didn't want to own this, but I didn't want someone else telling me they're all man-made, or they're not all man-made. So I think for me, I just wanted to make sure that I lift my frequency. I want to do this in joy. I love it here. This is my passion. And if I go home out of here with a high frequency, I'm going to take that to my clients. So there's a lot of telepathy that goes on between the human realms, the higher realms, and the human crop circle makers. There, I've said it. And interestingly, 963 hertz is used to heighten telepathic communication. So if you want to start using binaural beats or hertz frequency, tune in 963. I think the love is, I can't remember what the love frequency is. 528, thank you very much. So these are good ways of enlightening. So like I said, humanity is probably at its most strange, but I feel very, very lucky to be involved in this phenomenon for many, many years. And I think if we can enlighten and raise our consciousness enough in this time of what is called collapsed consciousness. So when we take something to ego, we flatten it and we make it into a two-dimensional space, which you were talking about. So I want to be positive. I love that. I want to thank Roland and Nancy as well for actually bringing us all together, because I don't think this is an easy thing to do. So I want to thank them as well. because we're all here for one unified reason, and I think that is to raise our consciousness, hopefully, but also to enjoy the crop circles, but also the landscape. And this is just called a Mobius knot. So a Mobius strip is just, it has no beginning or end. And I think this is what infinity is, and what the crop circles are. They talk to us, they've talked to me. And my life has been intrinsically changed through it, and I'm happy for that. So I'm not even going to go into geometry because you've done it, but when I see clients, so if I get people that come to me and they've got a problem with their relationship, sometimes I like to say to them, you've got to match geometry soul-wise. If someone's geometry isn't matching your own, you want someone to enhance your geometry, not detract from it. So it's all about frequency and fabric of light and time. I just want to say about, I personally don't trudge through wheat fields in the mud and the rain because I want to scientifically know something. I trudge through mud and rain and farmers because there is something so deeply intrinsically going on here that I think it's silly to dismiss it, especially through the ego sense of this all. So synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have the eyes to see it. So what I would say is it's about opening our eyes, clearing the mind. I get clients that come to me, I would say about 80% of the clients that I see, and I don't mean this rudely, but are what I call lower vibrational, so they want to speak to their grandparents or their parents through mediumship, which is fine, but I have 20% that want higher. They want to know higher. And I would say that everyone in this room, you wouldn't be here if you're vibrating on a lower realm because you want to know more. So, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kathy, for your very recognizable story. I want to ask you a little bit of time because Ian Holling wants to talk